Alright guys, let's have a quick talk. Now please note before I start speaking that this isn't directed at anybody in particular, nor is this meant to be hate-filled in any way. If anything, this is more of a informative. Yeah, it can still be labeled as a rant, but really all I'm trying to do is open some people's eyes about things. And everything I'm probably getting ready to say is something that a lot of people are thinking, but a lot of people just don't want to come out and talk about it, and that's fine. I mean, the sad thing is that normally whenever people do talk about these things, it can stir up a lot of hate because people have misunderstandings or misconceptions over what is being said. So after probably my next video that I'm working on right now, I'm going to put a pause on my future motion downloads for a little bit. In other words, my future projects won't be downloadable as of after my next video. And the reason that is because there has been a lot of theft happening lately. And when I say a lot, I mean as in on one of my motions alone in the past month, I have caught over 18 people either not crediting or not linking back properly or just not putting anything, claiming it as their own. This doesn't just go for my motions, it goes for a lot of things, such as some models, parts that I have made, or be it accessories I have added onto a motion for conveniences of the user. Please note, I do not tolerate theft in my work of any kind, and nobody should. It's a sad thing that's happening to everybody. Some people just, they don't pay attention or they don't care simply because they know that they think that there's nothing that they can do. This has happened to me personally. When someone calls out somebody, not even calling out, just simply saying, hey, you should credit me please, or credit me for my work. It often can trigger hate or to cause that person to be like, hey, why should I have to credit you? Or the excuse is, well, you shouldn't have it out for download publicly if you don't want this to happen. I personally have been called unkind for politely asking people to just simply credit me, or even a disclaimer would be better than nothing. I mean, yeah, formal credit is a lot more professional and preferred by many makers, but to claim someone else's work, there's just no gain in that. And to be fairly honest, if you don't want to credit something, you shouldn't download it. There are a lot of misconceptions about motions. The first thing is that people think that if you make a motion, unless there is a download, then there's no point for them to watch it. I've got told that. I've got told before that, oh, this is an amazing animation, but because there is no download, I'm gonna dislike it. You shouldn't just watch MMDs for the downloads. You shouldn't support a user or an artist just because they have a download. You don't go and look at someone's art or their art blog. Like, let's say someone has a drawing blog. You don't go on there and be like, oh, this is an amazing drawing, but I don't really like it since you're not going to put out a guideline or a template for it, It really pains me to see that this is the way that the MMD community is going, but until I can see a change of some kind, it really scares me to want to put out my motions. I love sharing my work with people. There is nothing that has brought me more happiness than somebody liking my work enough for them to want to use it and take their time to want to make something creative with it. That means more to me than anything in the world, unless someone just does it to steal my work. I am honored that people want to use my work. But whenever you go as far as to say that you did it, it makes me feel like that my work just doesn't matter to people. Like, it doesn't matter that I took hours out of my day to make something because it brought me happiness to make. I work full time. I have a stressful job. I'm not gonna lie. Animating is pretty much one of the only happinesses that I have. It is my escape from a lot of things, and the fact that others support me for that, it makes me genuinely happy. Moving on. This doesn't just go for motions. I've seen this happening with models, stages, and pretty much anything you can think of in this community. Everybody has to start somewhere. If you start out and you're like, okay, well this is for free use, and you don't know you have to credit, part of me thinks that it should be common sense that if it's not yours, you should at least credit, but if some people, have that issue, it's okay. We all have to start somewhere, but you have to change and be mature about it if you're wanting to pursue, especially further a channel in art of any kind. It's okay to have inspirations. It's okay to want to look up to someone's work, but when you don't credit, it makes people not want to continue doing what they're doing anymore. I've seen so many amazing and talented artists leave this community because people simply aren't crediting, they're not getting the respect they need. I've had to disable comments on past videos just because people have gotten mad because I close emotion downloads. Like, downloads are not a requirement. They are by no means a requirement, nor should be the only reason you support an animator. Motion downloads are not necessary, nor are they a level of skill. People shouldn't judge a motion or a video just because it has a download or not. If that download is down, it does not mean that, oh, suddenly that video or that talent is lessened by any means necessary. If you support an artist or like anything that they do, like, hey, you know, that's cool. Often taking the time out of your day just to say that, like, hey, this is cool. It doesn't matter if it has a download or not. You shouldn't unsubscribe from someone just because that they say, hey guys, I'm not going to stop doing motion downloads. Am I afraid that's going to happen to me? No, because I don't do what I do for numbers or views. I do it because it is my happiness. And it's the case for a lot of others too. Animating is a category of art. It is a passion that many others share. But it's just really sad the way this community is turning up. And the bottom line is, unless it's a Vine, a meme, or, you know, something small, my motion downloads are going to be minimal from here on, just for a little bit, until I can at least see some change. And I hope that I inspire others to maybe talk about this issue, because it does need to be talked about. The MMD community is growing faster and faster, smaller channels are growing, we're seeing more people every month, everybody's getting interested, and that's amazing. But it's also scary because people are growing in a community that is already toxic. And unless something gets fixed, it's going to remain toxic. And I just hope that a lot of others can hear me out. Again, this is not meant to be hate-filled. If anything, I just want to inform people. You know, maybe you don't know these things, but it does hurt when you steal things of any kind. Be it emotion, a pose, even something as simple as a hand position, anything. It hurts when it gets stolen. If it's not yours, you should at least say so. If somebody took the time out of their day to make something and cares enough to share it, then all we hope, any artist of any kind, is that you at least take time out of yours to figure out who made it, even if you don't. A lot of people, including myself, often put their names on the folders or put a readme in what they put out for download, and so that way it is not even possible for someone to forget who made it, and often lacks any excuse of any kind except laziness. Laziness, or someone doesn't care, or they don't want someone to know that it wasn't them that did it. It's the cold hard truth. I mean, it's not good. But anyways, this is Emotay Productions, and I thank you for listening if you've listened this far. I hope to goodness I didn't offend anybody. It was not intended to. Things aren't good right now. For me, a lot of other people. I feel so sorry for one of my friends, my animation friends, Graham. A lot of her work is getting stolen as well, which is another thing that sparked me to talk about this, because it's like, hey, you know, you realize you're not alone. This is happening to a lot of people close to you, which leads to, you know, people wanting to do something about it. And hopefully this can just spark a chain of events or something. I mean, it's gonna take a lot, and I know that, but I mean, something's gotta change. And it might sound cheesy or cliche, but it's to the point where if you call yourself an MMD animator, some people don't even take you seriously. That's how bad it is. I hope that everybody can understand where I'm coming from. And I hope that, you know, maybe if you didn't know something about maybe now you do. That's my only hope, is that if someone out there doesn't know any better, maybe they do now. If someone doesn't credit, it's not an excuse to go and attack them, in my opinion. But just, you know, say, hey, you know, that's not right. Don't be afraid to. Yeah, if they're gonna be immature and attack you just for asking or stating something that's not theirs, then they aren't really worth to take serious, in my opinion. But moving on. I am also wanting to do a lot more story-related stuff, which is another reason why my motion downloads will be minimal, simply because I'm going to be going further with my stuff with Castivan and V. For those of you that don't know, Castivan and V, as well as Judy, Haggard, and Foster, and many others, are also all inspired from a book I have wrote. In other words, they are based on characters that I wrote about in a book that I'm trying to get published right now. which is pretty exciting. But this year I'm definitely wanting to go further with giving you guys more story-based content, you know, which is going to be more hype for my publishing. And I mean, I've already got a copyright on the story itself, which is very exciting. I just need basically to figure out, hey, who wants to publish this, which is scary, which is why I'm kind of hesitant, which is why I'm trying to get more of an audience for my story-related content. You know, that way I don't have to be afraid going forward. Anytime someone, you know, just comments something simple like, oh my gosh, I love Castivan, honestly, it warms my heart so much. Like, I would rather somebody give me a comment about Castivan or V than anything. Like, it makes my whole day. Words are not enough to express the happiness that it all brings me. Like, oh, I'm getting so giddy right now. I'm so sorry. I'm very excited. Maybe soon I can give you maybe a little bit of backstory on them. I'm working on a waltz motion between them, which is simple, but it's actually based on something in the second book that I have planned. But it's actually going to be an animation to the song Lovely, so I'm pretty excited about that. It's on my to-do list, but I have a lot, and I mean a lot, coming up, guys. In the words of Casti, I hope you're having a great day. Bye-bye.